Oh, I am live. Hello, how's it going? Let's make sure we are live. Says I'm waiting. Should be live. I hope you can hear me. Okay, there we go. There we go. Hello to everyone. Let me send out the things there. Hello to everyone who's here tonight. I see Zodberg, K-Master, Sinram, Pup, Cornbread, Purple Goop, Javier Portello, Zane Powers, among others. Thank you, Cornbread. No, they have been... I think they've been sent. I'm not sure about Blue Sky, but Twitter... Yes, we're all good. We're all good. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me. Nathaniel Foga, how is it going? Hello, everyone, and welcome to Movie Crap Live. Ratboy Mickey, hello. Did I get everyone who was there earlier? Nathaniel Foga, Cornbread, Zane Powers, Portello, Austin, hello. It's cool, man. It's cool. It's cool. I was wondering, like, where is Austin's question? But it's okay. I'm glad you told me that because I was like, oh man, did I miss or something? Anyway, hello, back in the kitchen, as we do. Um, yes. Oh, Conan the Librarian, how's it going? And happy Yom Kippur to those who celebrate. Hello, Jordan Slaflo. Hello, hey, look, welcome to Cinema Faces. Cinema Faces. I don't know about that one. That's interesting. But anyway, yes. Welcome to Movie Crap Live. I'm pausing. What is OMI? What is that? What is OM? Oh, Only Murders in the Building. Okay, I got it. Took me a minute. Hello and welcome to the show. Welcome back. It's been a week. Sorry if I thought I was going to do Wednesday. I was kind of not, I don't know, I wasn't feeling as good on Tuesday or Wednesday. I was like, let's fuck it. Even though today was crazy, I went to the city with my kids. We saw Gabby's Dollhouse, which the Gabby's Dollhouse movie, which I've already said does have similarities to the Transformers movie. Nobody dies, but it is like, huh, okay. I was surprised kids movies still do that. You know, I mean, if you think about it, Ryan Walterson will appreciate this. Oogie loves walk, so the Gabby's the Dollhouse movie could run. But it was fun. It's not for me at all. We'll see if the kids do a review, but it was not made for me at all. Um, no, it really it does have a thing. I'm not joking. Nobody dies, or do they? You don't have to watch it. But yeah. Other than that, it was fun. I mean, they had a good time. It's fun to see them have a good time. And Kristen Wiig had one, like, this commercial. What the fuck? Okay, Kristen Wiig had this one commercial, in it that was funny. Otherwise, she knew how to play along and stuff, but she had one part that was like, "Hello, I am a human woman." I don't know. It's funny. Not Barb and Star funny, but funny nonetheless. Um, Other in the gym, I think this is I usually say small talk, but this is really just Jim rants about things. I rewatched Superman with my son. It still holds up really well. I still really like it. I kind of think it is one of the better superhero movies of the 2020s. I put it up there with, like, I don't know, but I'd have to think about that. It's like Shang-Chi, Across the Spider-Verse, Superman, maybe Black Panther 2. You know, not a great 2010s were like, oh, they well, first off, someone's got to do super chat for me to reveal it, but Cornbread guessed it already. But yeah, it was still good. I don't know. I didn't have much takeaway from. I was just like, hey, this is still a cool movie. That speech at the end really works. This works. Anyway, the other thing. This is the thing that I am very much figuring out, because as you know, I'm a big fan of MeTV Tunes' Saturday night programming, because I'm like really cool, and uh, only the coolest people, and Blood Tea, only the coolest people watch MeTV Tunes on Saturday night, but they play. Guardians 3, I'm with you. I'm with you on Guardians 3. I would put Guardians 3 up there. What MLT just keeps saying Jim. Why? Um, but they play the Star Trek animated show, and the more I'm watching, the more I'm like, Is this? No, I'm not clickbaiting you. It's a real discussion. It's really happening. It's a rumor, but it's really. I said maybe in the thumbnail. I think I need to. I might actually rip off Cornbread's picture of Sam Raimi was better. Mine was like, I said Sam Raimi may be back at Marvel. That's accurate. That's accurate. Not confirmed. Maybe that's accurate. It's not clickbait. I mean, technically, any advertising for your thing is clickbait. I think clickbait is if what I'm talking about isn't there, but what I'm talking about is there. So I did say maybe. I did say maybe. Um, but yeah, when I'm watching the Star Trek animated show, and I don't know I know the history of animation and Saturday mornings enough to know that. But when I'm watching the Star Trek animated show, it's not made for kids. It's like kind of made for. I did see the thumbnail already. I didn't comment. I just looked real quick, but I might switch out mine. I'll let you know. But it very much is like just Star Trek, the original show, just animated. It's not for made for kids, and I know the fan base was big enough that they could facilitate that. But I was like, I was surprised as I've been watching it. I was like, this is like, I think at the time it premiered, it was like Saturday morning, and this isn't an exaggeration, was like 90% Hanna-Barbera or some shit. And then, it's all Scooby-Doo ripoffs, and they're like, let's deal with like time travel and science fiction. And it's just like very interesting. I think it might be the predecessor of like what X-Men would do later and the series. It really is like very early on for that kind of stuff for Saturday morning. So I don't know. I need to look into it a little more, but I am sort of like, I think that show was like, I don't think it was, I think it was like a little trendset. It was groundbreaking for its time. I mean, it was the 70s, it was before the Star Trek movies and stuff, but it is like very different for the time. For the time period, it's like very advanced. And I'm like, were kids watching this? Like, I don't, or was it just for the fans? I don't know. I need to look into it because it's actually pretty good. And, I'd recommend it. So far, I've watched 2 episodes. We'll see if I could probably watch it on streaming. I just choose to watch it on over the air because I'm so cool. I don't think I have any other rants really. Oh, so we were. Hey, Wanda and Natty, how's it going? We were for some reason my nose is like not behaving, so I apologize for that. Sophie's. You'll see. Oh, that's interesting, Zodberg. That's interesting. But it was like, did Star Trek? I think Star Trek was like what X Men would do later, but like I think like 20 years before or something. So I'm curious. Like I don't know. I need to look into it more. So we went to the movies today, and Sophie's new Recess Therapy come out, and they had Recess Therapy before the movies. It was kind of crazy. I don't know if that's just for kids movies. They didn't do that for One Battle After Another. It, interesting. I have within a week seen One Battle After Another and Gabby's Dollhouse. So uh yeah, but just thank you, Ryan Walter said you're right. Um they make yeah, I did One Battle After Another and Gabby's Dollhouse. So I've lived the cinematic dream. But yeah, yeah, they had a recess therapy thing before, and then like right after we found out uh that so he's in a new recess therapy. So I'll post that in the commentary and stuff like that. Oh, Cineram says just watch Jurassic World Rebirth. I rank it third in the series. Um, I would, huh, I might go fourth, but my rankings are always 1, 3. Probably the first Jurassic World. Not that it's that solid, but honestly, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. One Chainsaw Man after that is sort of in my life because I've been catching up on that. Cheers to you, Sidram. Thank you for the first super shout out. This is it, Odyssey Elixir. I put. Oh, I shouldn't. Sorry, it was a little. It was a little pricey, I guess. That's why I put Christopher Nolan's future filmography. But yes, thank you very much, Sidram, for the first super chat of the night. Whoa, let's splash on. I guess it didn't. I don't see. Anyway, cheers to you, sir. Okay, I don't. I'm not sure about that one. Um, Fallen Kingdom has a lot of good moments, but it does not. I think the problem is like there are not a lot of solid movies. I think Rebirth is solid, uh, uh, but Oh yeah. I guess I'll just talk about video stuff and then we'll just get into it because I don't know. But that Star Trek thing, and then they play Duck Dodgers right after, and Duck Dodgers. Oh yeah, actually tonight Sophie and I were watching Looney Tunes, and they had a Duck Dodgers short. It was not part of the show because I watched the show, and actually it had Dr. Zodberg from Futurama in it as a cameo, and like it was referencing the prequels a lot, and he had like Daffy had robots. It was weird. I'd never heard of that one before, but it was cool. Um, oh man, that already gave me energy though. That's what I need. After we went all over Manhattan today with the kids, and or I went all over. Then we went to the Nintendo store, the Lego store. We didn't buy anything. You just play, and then Central Park. So it's been a day. Um, other video stuff. Other videos. Sorry. Um, I finally put out the weapons review. Oh man, weapons review last night, which I guess I don't know. I'm proud of that one, but I don't think people like as much what I said. But I'm proud of that one. Uh, Zoidberg. Sorry, you know what? You fucked me up. Oh, that's interesting. The weapons review. I'm sort of done with the Leo. Was almost in. If you notice, they're a lot longer. Um, I think in the old ways, Leo would have had four, and now he has two. So that's I kind of am just like keeping them as much as I can, not as And then the King of the Hill thing, I really almost didn't review or put out for a while. I was a little nervous about it, so I sent it to Ryan. He thought it was funny, and I think it worked out. As for this weekend, I do think with the segments coming up, as there will be a little more time specific for the movie crap ones. Like this one will probably come out pretty soon after, and I'll talk about one of the things that's going to be a segment next week. So just know that'll probably be going on throughout the month of October. But I think after that we'll probably do one that'll like sit on the deck for a little bit. Just for you're aware of that. And please vote in the movie review vote if you have not already. And I can't think of anything else other than obviously Seeing Weapons will be out soon. There'll be other stuff uh, and all that. I can't think of anything else. But yeah, vote in the movie review vote. I'm not sure if it'll be segments or shorts. I think it'll be Homestuck, whatever, this weekend. But just to let you know about that. Hey Gary, what's up? All right. Oh, thank you, Cornbread. Thank you. I was having fun. I was like, I think this is a pretty good one. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, I feel like I made a good point, but whatever. I was surprised I felt the way I did about it, but because I was excited for it. But it did come out like almost 2 months later. I kind of forgot how long ago it was. When I was getting clips of the trailer, I was like, August 8th. Whoops. All right. This it's funny. Whoop, 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 whoop. Oh, that's interesting, Caleb Wilson. All right. This. Sorry. Okay. Everything's good. Sorry. I'll start doing that on camera. This and everything I do is supported by you, the fans, either through Super Chats during the show, which gives me energy of this lovely Odyssey elixir or whatever. It's been a long day, so I really would appreciate that energy, to be honest with you. And if we get to every multiple of $20, I will make these lights go flashy, flashy every time that happens and stuff, or every time we hit a multiple of 20. If but another way to do it is my Patreon, which has all sorts of cool stuff like more power in the movie review vote. There's my commentary series, which will be a new one coming out soon, which is exclusive to the Patreon, as well as you get access to my public access show movie stuff and all sorts of exclusive content and postcards if you're $10 and up patrons and nice roughly Mickey and all sorts of stuff like that. It also helps me continue to do what I do, and I very much appreciate if you're financially able to do so. And if you're financially able to do a super chat during the show, I appreciate it as well. I will always read those out, guaranteed. And yes, and if you cannot do that as well, as long as you are watching, I appreciate it. But if you could like or subscribe, that would very much help the channel, as well as plenty just like and subscribe. But if you're just watching and you just come in now and then or whatever, thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it. Where else are we? Oh yes. Also, if you like everyone in this wonderful chat right here, I would suggest you check out the Discord, which has all sorts of cool stuff like Cornbread's thumbnail predictions, which might actually just become sort of the thumbnail later on. We'll see. And they do movie watches every week. I'm not sure which one they're doing. They're doing which one are they doing? Oh, Night of the Living Dead. Awesome. They're doing Night of the Living Dead. They're doing all sorts of cool. They do all sorts of cool community stuff. There's movie story discussions, which I do look at those channels. There's the licensed playing card channel, which this has my awesome Scooby Doo cards, and all sorts of cool things like that. It's very well run by Cornbread, Austin St. Powers, and Ryan Walterson, and they do a lot of cool stuff in there. It's a really wonderful community. I consider it the best Discord I'm a part of, and maybe that's ever been ever. I don't know. But it's a really wonderful community. And if you want to hang out and you can't make the live chat and you just were like, hey, these seem like cool people, please join. You have 24 hours to answer a daily question usually. So even if you get off work at 4 a.m., you can still answer it. It's totally cool. Thank you very much for doing it if you can. Also, I have been doing good on the timestamps. I don't know if you all have noticed the last two episodes. I'm not sure if I'll get to do it tonight or I'll pass out or something, but I will try to make it up. But I try to do like the talk movie stories break segment thing first. So if you see like it in sort of a it's taken a minute to get like I haven't finished all, that means I just stop and I come back to it. But I have been doing good. I'm kind of like happy to do it. I'm like, I really should have been doing this. I don't know, just another thing to do. I'm only one guy. It's only really me doing a lot of this stuff. So, you know. All right. Hey, Medulla Butterfly, how's it going? All right. But yeah, any super chats would be appreciated, but we can just move on. What is that doing? That's weird. Uh, but let's just move on. Set to the big story. I think the biggest story this week was really that the Simpsons movie 2 is announced and it's going to come out in less than 2 years on July 23rd, 2027. There has been a lot of talk about a Simpsons 2, and I think Disney has made it pretty clear they would like to do a Simpsons movie 2, and even a Family Guy movie, which I think we'll probably hear a lot more pressure about that, and maybe an announcement since they got this to happen, but I don't know. We don't really know what it's about. We do know the Simpsons are contracted to at least 2030, I believe. So there will be seasons after this, although part of me thought, like, is this how they end it? Of course not. The Simpsons will never end ever. Um, I I don't know. I'm a little like I think the Simpsons are in a much better place than they've been in a lot of the years they've been on since they've been on forever. And I think they could make a good movie, a decent movie at this point. I was surprised. And I do think the Simpsons, like, people sort of forget about it. We've been watching a little more because of Treehouse of Horror. It's spooky season. Um uh but I don't know, but or it's also like I noticed I was like on vacation with my family and other places. I noticed, so it's like if it's I mentioned Sunday night, people go, oh yeah, The Simpsons. Like everyone knows when it's on, everyone remembers all these things about it. So I do think like brand wise, you're not going to just get the people who watch it every Sunday. You know what I mean? You're going to get a lot of different people, and I think that is I understand why they'd want a Simpsons movie. That's very much a Disney thing to do. I'm a little confused on what it would be exactly, but we'll see. See, my sir. Oh yeah, I do. I took pictures of the 7-Eleven Quickie Mart. There was one around me. It was kind of cool. I hope they do the marketing blitz they did with the first one, but it was Fox, and I mean, this is sort of like Fox through Disney or whatever. Um, I'm just like I don't know. I am a little I'm a little skeptical. I'm not as in love with current Simpsons. I know, like, I don't even post I mean, I don't know. Are people still defend? I felt like a lot of people will be like, "No, why do people always undermine current Simpsons and stuff?" And I'm like, I mean, maybe because it's gone on too long and it's won too many things and all that stuff. But um, I don't know. I'm a little like one question. I'm gonna read it early actually. because it Nathaniel Foga asked it, but I think it's said, do you remember what 2007 was like for you around the time the Simpsons movie came out? That's Nathaniel Foga's Patreon. I hope you don't mind me reading it now, but I wanted to talk about that. Oh, well, I'll do Nathaniel Foga because it is technically a question, a Patreon question. Then I'll get to you, Austin. Thank you. Um, what I do remember is one, Simpsons fans were extremely pissed off that Alf Clausen wasn't involved in the music. He was like not the people were really not happy about that and were very much like there's no way this is gonna be good and they should have done it 10 years ago at minimum, if not earlier. And there's a lot of talk about that, and it did feel like there were a lot more 8 seasons uh kind of shit. The first 10 8 seasons were good and this is gonna suck. And I thought it was, I mean, I did a review of it and stuff. I like it and stuff, but it did feel like, why didn't they do it earlier? And I do feel like that this should really be Simpsons movie 3, and even like, the whatever, the one where they live in the town with the Bond villain and stuff, maybe that should have been it, or there should have been a movie already. And it's weird that like South Park had a movie before the Simpsons had a movie. Hey William Woman, how's it going? I just feel like they kind of, I don't know. At the time, there was a lot of cynicism. I was talking to, I mean, Ian and I both weren't as super happy about it. It did feel like, they waited too long. And so, like, that was like anyone I talked to in animation, I knew people who worked on, worked in it. Almost everyone felt that way. It does feel like the kids who were younger, who they got introduced to Simpsons later, have similar to like, I would almost say similar to the prequels, but I don't think it's as bad. I think we're just tough on it. But the Alf Clausen thing, I will never give them. I think that's not cool. I think they should have waited. If you're gonna wait that long, uh, you can get Alf Clausen. I think, and now he's not involved in it at all. So, but I feel like that was a missed opportunity. Austin said, "I wonder what plot they will take from Stephen King." No, wait, Under the Dome was after the Simpsons movie, but still weird. I would be. I'm actually surprised like they didn't do, because Treehouse of Horror is almost as recognizable as The Simpsons itself. They didn't do a Treehouse of Horror movie. I feel like that's been a discussion, right? Anyway, cheers to you, Austin. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. I feel like I've heard that, but I don't know if it was like a studio head just like threw it out there or something. I don't know what the plot will be, and it seems like they have enough of a thing to announce a date and a poster. But it is weird watching the newer ones, and I'm actually, I know they have Cole Escola, I think, from who's there on Broadway, and they're really funny, and I think they're on the next 2 episodes. I saw on a listing, which I seemed off to me, but I didn't get to watch the opener. And then it's like weird that the new episodes don't come out on Hulu at the same time. They're on the Fox website and stuff. And I haven't watched. Part of me wanted to watch the season premiere, and I know Treehouse of Horror is coming out before Halloween this year, so maybe I will. But it's just I do think Simpsons movie 2, I think is going to be met with a lot of cynicism. I do think it's going to open big and it'll do well. That's what Disney treats brands like. I think what happened with the Predator brand is unique. And I think it's because they're similar kind of running at how Fox used to run things. You're like, oh, are you like Planet of the Apes? Like you got a sense like they're like, oh, yeah, that seems like that's working out. So if you could like just keep doing that, and like that's cool. Like it just doesn't feel like they're as involved. I feel like Predator, it's worked out. But I don't know. I'm curious what they're gonna do. I hope they don't do so much Simpsons. I will say I watch who's watching Universal Basic Guys. Yeah, well, here's the other thing Ryan Welch said. I want to bring up this with it is that Dan Harmon show. I watched just the end of it on Fox. It's like about Roman shit or something, and like every time, like I was like, it's not funny, and it was like really weird. I need to watch an episode of it, but it's weird. Like I don't know anyone who's watched it. Has anyone watched that show? Hey Dan, how's it going? Has it, like for real? Has anyone watched that? What is it called? Like Cornustopolis and Morty or something? I don't fucking know what it is. But I haven't watched Solar Opposites either, so none of that. It's like, but has anyone watched like in all seriousness? I'm not trying to be like shit on the fans of the show. I've never seen anyone post about it. I've never seen any like reviews of it. Like I'm in this whole, I don't know if I'm in the cartoon community or whatever the fuck that is, but like I haven't seen like, Tariq post with Saber. Nobody has anyone ever posted a review of it. Like I don't know anyone. The guy with thoughts, the hats guy, is anyone like I don't know anybody who's done that. Like nobody gives a shit. And it's like if that had come out in the 2010s, people were like a Dan Harmon show, and now it's like now nobody like I don't think anybody cares. It's like, man, he has really fallen off. Like that is yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, Rick and Morty you still hear about when it comes out, but I also think like the embarrassment of the Rick and Morty fandom really destroyed the Dan Harmon fan. You'll still like uh um community, but yeah, it has, yeah, I know. It has a lot of episodes. Like it's so weird to me, but whatever. Uh Oh, cool, man. I saw one battle after another as well. Awesome, Dan. I'll hopefully I need to shoot something for it. Another Paul Thomas Anderson movie that I need to have a review of. I'm hoping to. We'll see. I'm gonna at least shoot a review. I saw it though. All right. I'm gonna blow my nose off camera. Just give me 1 second. I hope you don't have to hear it. 1 second. Sorry about that. Um, Rick and Morty. That's interesting. You bring that up. Oh, the other thing I want to talk about is how many do you think will start hearing pressure of like Fox will be like, we're gonna do a like the Family Guy movie talk is really gonna spark up after this. Like I'm kind of surprised. Now, part of that is because 20th Century Fox fucked up and they turned down Ted, which is like one of those. I'm like, even when I read that they did it, I was like, what? Like, you got Mark Wahlberg, Seth MacFarlane Bear. Like to me, that's I know it was expensive for a comedy, and I'll like defend the studio a little bit because it's like it was expensive, but it's like Seth MacFarlane was so hot at the time, I was like surprised, and then he like started his relationship with Universal, so they had no way to pressure him into making a Family Guy movie, even though they definitely wanted one. And I'm really curious if Disney is going to be like, hey, can you just like, how much do we have to pay you? I'm really curious how if it'll ever happen. I feel like that's another one where probably should have happened when it came back a couple years after, time wise, and now we've waited too long. It's also like South Park. I'm surprised they haven't made another movie. I guess like Imagination Land was sort of one, and this one and stuff, but like anyway, so everybody knows I didn't decide to do this right at the show. That's really nice, you knows. All right. As well as like, I mean, Bob's Burgers got a movie and that worked out. So I'm curious, like, what other of the Fox shows? Will Fish Police get a movie? Only time will tell. We'll see. The Fish Police movie. The Fish Police say something in my head. Like Dream Police. All right. Yeah, no, Fox turned down Ted. Like, because you're like, why wouldn't he have a deal with Universal? Why is it on Peacock? Because Fox fucked that up. Which is like, how could you? You had to deal with him, and you like he was like one of your golden boys. Whatever. All right, The Black Knight. I know this was like right after the show, but what about the Stevie movie that was telling me? Yeah, you're right. Um, The Black Knight. This is Gendy's trailer for this movie. We heard about this earlier. I think I talked about it. My Gendy was almost in video that he tried to make this kind of serious kind of fantasy thing, and he decided to just release finished footage, much like what happened with Deadpool. Um, you know what? A Futurama movie would be cool, Dan. I think that's another one they probably waited. It's too long at this point. But yeah, he released this Black Knight footage. It's just like this cool Black Knight who's huge fighting this ninja lady. It looked neat. It wasn't too much to it, but it looked really cool. I think he's probably like, I gotta make up for Fix because did anyone like that really came and went and felt like all the reviews were like gross, I hate this, and then it was over. I mean, Gendy, do what you want, but at the same time, do something else. But anyway, I do think like it was cool footage. I hope it happens. Ever since I've heard of that project, I hope it happens. I think it sounds really cool. I think he's amazing in action sequences, and it looks awesome from what I would see. Uh, see what it will look like. But and it looked like Samurai, but he is really good at doing action sequences. But I don't understand why there isn't a studio. Uh, Nintendo liked fixed. All right. Uh, sure, bro. I don't know. I hope this pressures them to do it because I would love to see that at um uh I would love to see that, but man, can Netflix or somebody just buy Gendy up and like let him just do whatever he wants? Like I just feel like it sort of stinks like seeing some of his projects that never happen not happen. Like I think the Black Knight would be really good. So okay, I guess I really didn't like it. I don't think people weren't giving good reviews to it, were they? I don't think they were, but I might do something with Northern the North, but not a look. You'll see eventually. I'm not sure when. But I don't know. There's not too much to talk about other than I hope it comes out at some point. I hope it happens. It's cool that Sony at least let him kind of build buzz for it, but we'll see about that. We also got the Del Toro, Guillermo del Toro, Frankenstein trailer with Jacob Elordi. The trailers look really great. It looks really awesome. I really like. I mean, a Frankenstein. It seems like it's more from. Okay, Ryan, you can stop telling people who liked it. All right, I didn't like it. Sorry. I think everyone thought Jim likes gross shit. He'll like it, and I didn't like it. I don't like sex comedies. That's probably it. The Frankenstein trailer looked like it might be more from Frankenstein's perspective, which to be honest is like a good way to tell it. But it also looks like it's doing the more gothic, macabre Frankenstein, which is like, yeah, that would be a good version of it. I do actually think uh um Frankenstein cinematically, at least the old Universal ones, like probably has a better like I think one and two are classics. That'd be Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, Son of Frankenstein, which I would like to review before the new one, because they've done one and two, is also really good. It has a pretty good. I mean, there's a lot of bad Frankenstein movies, but it actually, Universal horror wise, I think it does better. Like Dracula and Dracula's Daughter, I both like, but I think Bride of Frankenstein is better than Dracula's Daughter and stuff like that. But yeah, you know what? I like the Unicorn Show. So like, I think okay, I can like the Unicorn Show that they didn't like that. But I don't know. Frank, it looks cool to me. I'm excited for it. I'm not gonna see it in theaters, or I'm just gonna see it on that. When I see that stuff, I'm like I'm so there's so many movies I could see, and like you're not gonna unless it's coming out in theaters. And I could do it with the Regal. It's just not worth it for me. But hello Remiku Hiraku Shrine. But it looked like a really cool trailer to me. And then we got the to take off another thumbnail thing. We got the Zootopia 2 trailer or the final trailer, which I also ended up seeing in theaters today. It looked cool. The snake thing I didn't realize like snakes aren't Cornbread, shut up. I probably could, but I'm not gonna like the girl was married to the guy who was a werewolf. There was like a robot thing. There were eternal warriors. Leave me alone. I haven't watched it since then either. Sorry. The wolf guy. Okay, you know what, Cornbread? Jesus. All right, Zootopia 2 trailer came out. What we basically learned from it is even though they've been partners for presumably a week, they're already having problems. Okay, and the snake thing. The snake thing is interesting because I never thought about it, and they're like, "There's never been a snake," and like, what mystery is it? And every character who's in the original is coming back, and all that stuff. It looks fine. I think honestly, if it's better than another 48 hours, then I'm happy. I think you could honestly just do a really solid. Good man, you're like you're like roasting me today. I remember liking it. Whatever. It had. I am a little worried about all the returning characters. I would just like them to just do a mystery and you meet new people and stuff. However, part of me is like, are we just seeing the old characters because that's what gets people in? I have a little more hope for this than Moana 2 from last year. Remember that? But uh it's really I don't know. I'm down. I'm not like overly hyped necessarily. I kind of like wish it was something that was like, oh, but the original I wasn't really that hyped before either. It wasn't until I saw the movie. So I'm willing to uh do some more stuff. Or sorry, I'm willing to do some more stuff. I'm willing to come around to it, but I will because we're gonna watch it. So all right. William Ellman said Son of Frankenstein has Bela Lugosi's best performance as Yagor. I agree. I like that's also the movie where they explain. First off, cheers to you, William Ellman. Thank you very much for the super chat. And I might do a reel about it because this I probably mentioned this before on here, so you can tell me I did. Where it like mentions in the movie, there's a clip of it where he goes like, we've all been afraid of Frankenstein. And then he goes, that's just what we call it. We know it's like the doctor's name Frankenstein. And it's like a monster, but we just call them. And they like explain it. And I was like, so this whole like Frankenstein's monster thing was explained in the fucking 40s. And everyone acts like they're real smart when they say it. Fuck all of you. Like none of you have seen uh Son of Frankenstein. Anyway, I would like to do Son of Frankenstein. Not as good as the first two, but it's still pretty solid. But I do remember his performance was pretty good. Huh. Anyway, I would like to do more Universal horror. It's like a cool thing. I know Sophie and I are going to watch the two Draculas um, later. Later this that's her spookies. I let her watch a Universal horror movie because those are like, gee, those are like good horror entries for kids. I think people they're so weird about that shit. It's just like when I was a kid, I watched all those things, and look how I turned out. Bad example. But point is, no, I think they're fine. I think it's fine for people to get scared. Don't show them like Texas Chainsaw. That's for when they're 10. Okay. So this was a surprise. And then we'll talk about Kimmel. Sorry I'm like bumping around. This is kind of one of those to do. Then we'll talk about all the Kimmel stuff. Don't worry. It seems to be so the Kill Bill, the whole bloody affair is coming out finally. I agree with people who were like I saw people go like why should I care kind of thing, or you should have done um you should have done this already and stuff, but apparently it's going to come out on December 5th from Lionsgate. It will include 70 millimeter and 35 millimeter presentations, as well as I think it'll be about 4 hours and it'll have at least a 7-minute new animated sequence. A couple of questions I have is I'm actually okay with it, and I wouldn't mind reviewing volume 1 and 2 again. Don't forget classics like I Frankenstein. You mean I like when it was isn't it when it was in Spanish it was Yo Frankenstein? Wasn't it? Was it Yo Frankenstein? I'm not whatever the translation in Spanish, it was like very funny. Isn't it? It's not Yo, it's like I forget what it was, but it was very funny. Cheers to you. Thank you for bringing up I Frankenstein. Where does that fit into the dark universe? Because wasn't it like that Dracula thing was part of it or something? Jesus, I don't fucking dark universe. Cheers, you. Everyone thought that was so funny, but I was like, I don't know. Yo soy Frankenstein. Okay, no, the whole bloody affair. It sounds like a cool idea. To release it, I'm for it. Kill Bill 1 was like came out when I was a sophomore in college, and oh my god, that thing dominated. That first one was a monster in art school and all film stuff. It was so fun, and I rewatched it so many times. You have no clue. I had a bootleg of it that was pretty decent, and oh my god, I ran that shit out. Oh hello, Evil Ira. It was just it was oh my god. I anytime I'd watch it, even years later, I remember like roommates were like, "Can I just hang out and watch it? That's so cool." And then they'd start watching. It was like that first one is has a energy to it. The second one I also like. I don't feel the same. Everyone was really into it, but I think that first one was such an explosion. Um, I wouldn't mind reviewing the first two and then doing uh um the bloody affair. We'll see if that happens, but part of me would like to. I do have a fondness for it. I know there's a lot of people who are like, I was obsessed with this 20 years ago. What the fuck? My main things with this is why now the anniversaries for both have long passed the 20 years. Um, what's like what was going? I'm curious about the backstory, like why exactly. I mean, re-releases are big. I think every week we've had a re-release, and we're having another re-release this week, right? I mean, it's just like with Avatar, like re-releases are really pumping out. So I get that currently it makes sense to do something like this, but it just I don't know. Does he need money or something? That's usually why Lucas would do it. Also, like a lot of people are saying no, he owns his films. He actually does not own his films. He owns Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That's the only one. And I don't think he owns it yet. I think he's doing the 20-year thing that Ryan Coogler also got. Um, the Weinsteins will get money from this. I want to be clear on that. I actually did some research, like we're Googling and stuff, and almost everyone was like, no, he only owns one of them. Supposedly he owns percentages of certain ones and shit like that. I don't know if he like bought that from the Weinsteins, but to my understanding, at least Bob Weinstein would get a check from this. I am curious, like, remember in one of the trailers they had that black guy like doing karate shit? Is the black guy who did karate shit in this? Like that would be interesting. So I am really actually curious about this. I'm curious, like, because they said it's 4 hours, and I don't know if like how long is hold on how long is Kill Bill Volume? How long is that? That is an hour and 51 minutes. How long is Kill Bill Volume 2? 2 hours and 17 minutes. Oh, okay. Yeah, you could easily do that. Is it Michael J. White? There was somebody like it's been a while, so I don't want to say who it is because it's like a 20-year memory. But I remember like in one of the trailers there were a couple clips that were not in either movie, and I remember like someone pointed it out to me 20 years ago or something, and I was like, oh yeah, what's the deal with it? And we all thought it would be in two, and then it wasn't. And I think he said that was going to happen possibly. Um, but it's going to be interesting. I don't mind like this is the kind of re-release like sort of like Spider-Man 2.1 played in theaters right now is a similar thing. Like let's put out different cuts. I think it was Michael. No, I just don't. Okay, to be clear, this is a memory from a long time ago, so I didn't want to say who it was because I just remember it was a black dude. But I love Michael J. White. I actually really think he's cool. Um, because of Spawn. I saw Spawn in theaters. You don't worry. All right. So the Jimmy Kimmel stuff, let's just go through it because there was a new thing for it today and there was a thing right after the show. So Sinclair and Nexstar stopped preempting Jimmy Kimmel. And basically the only person who didn't and then Bob Iger, obviously his board is getting mad at him. We learned about that last week and stuff like that. The only person who this worked out for, as I said last week, is Jimmy Kimmel. He didn't lose no money. He didn't lose market share. He's, nothing bad happened to him. The only and even then, like when they allowed it and they opened it up again on Friday, they replayed the Wednesday episode. So you'd only air two episodes during the preemption, and then they stopped it, and now he's doing his Brooklyn episodes. So there's only one episode that didn't air for a lot of the channels. I don't know. I do think they should re-air that one in all fairness to the people who missed it. But basically, of all this discussion, the only one no one that didn't air on over the air TV was the Thursday night show. It does feel like he's very much. I think he might get a lead, much like what happened with like Jay Leno when he had Hugh Grant on back in the day. I do think we'll see something similar to that with Kimmel. I don't think he's that funny, but love to see more Jim fans vote for movie review vote. Oh, okay, yeah, more people do that. It's free. You're right. Anyone can vote for it. That is true. That is true, George James. Cheers to you, man. Um, but yeah, I do, and I maintain this. And I know I tweeted this. I would like to know how much they lost, how much Sinclair and Nexstar lost from this whole bullshit thing. Um, I did see that there were photos of Kimmel, Colbert, and Seth Meyers. Jimmy Fallon has sort of stayed out of this. He's saying he's not political, even though if you watch his show, he tries to be political. He's not very good at it. Maybe that's what he meant. But he's basically stayed away from it, which is kind of really disappointing. I don't know. It feels like you can't like just meet the moment superficially. Like what the fuck is wrong with you? He's I know he has like he I saw the end of one of his shows just because I was waiting for Seth Meyers, and he was talking about his branding show and stuff like that. The only good thing about his show is like I saw the clips perform on Jimmy Fallon, and I've seen a couple musical performances that are good, but I'm going to assume that's a Questlove thing, not a Jimmy Fallon thing. Much like how Paul Schaefer was behind all the Letterman stuff. But Letterman, I think, also enjoyed it. But you saw Kimmel and Colbert did the thing where Kimmel interviewed Colbert on his show, and Colbert interviewed Kimmel on his show, which I thought was a nice. It seems like a lot of them are trying to not do the mistakes of what's it, Leno Letterman thing. Again, they want to get along and they want to be friends, and I think that's actually pretty honorable, except for Jimmy Fallon, who just wants the network to like him, and that's all he really. I'm just like, dude, what the fuck? Like, he's just gonna be a guest host on reality shows and host Wheel of Fortune. Like, that's what he wants to do. If that's the case, like, get him off the Tonight Show. Like, actually, maybe make an offer to Conan. I don't think Conan would want to do a late night show anymore, but like, or give it to Amber Ruffin. I think she should come back. If you ask me, that's what I'd want. The FCC chairman, however, is actually going to get in trouble. There's going to be a Senate hearing about his censorship of Jimmy Kimmel, Brendan Carr, the guy who they haven't set a date yet, but the guy who said this is not even a joke, who said the thing on that conservative podcast, and then was like, "Oh no, I didn't mean that. I didn't say you should do something, even though you did say that." And now he's getting in trouble for it, which rightfully so. But the only I do think it's actually makes sense that the only person who this worked out for is Jimmy Kimmel. And look, I don't like his show. He doesn't interest me, but I actually think that is how it should have gone. Like I'm okay with that. I'm okay with like the networks, which I am curious, and I brought this up last time. Was Disney like, you play this shit or we will go to a different market, like I said, which they could do, or are we pulling everything, which they also can do, is they would be in breach of contract because you only have a certain amount of exemptions, which I can't imagine are a lot, you know. So I do think they and you have to pay for those exemptions. So they're paying a fee. They don't get ad revenue because they didn't play those ads. And the advertisers are pissed off. They have their own shareholders, which are also pissed off. So like there's nobody was like, yay, cool, thank you. Like it's just like conservatives acting like anyone cared. But it seemed like most other business people don't want to deal with Nexstar and Sinclair now because they look like idiots. Because like, why would you do that? Disney doesn't look as good. Dana Walden, who was supposed to be the heir apparent, sort of, for Bob Iger, did like nobody who made any of these decisions came out looking good whatsoever. It's literally just Jimmy Kimmel. I think that is the greatest situation possible. Uh but I mean we don't really know. Disney hasn't actually said what happened, but I do think if I was them, I honestly would have been like, "Oh, fuck it. I'll just call the other networks in your area, see if they want them. We'll just sign a deal with them." And just like fuck them forever, and then they have to answer to that because it's also like what he got like 6 million on a late night show. That's not usual numbers. So I also think it's I don't know. I just think I do not understand these conservative people's things with the late night show hosts because like they like as I said before they weren't doing super good. So like all you had to do is wait, and you just like inflated them, two of them. And if you attack Seth Meyers, who like I don't know, and it's also weird the Jimmy Fallon thing because he's gonna have the K-pop Demon Hunters on next week. He does get good musical performances. Like if he just was smarter about it, I think he could have worked out. But I don't think he's gonna get threatened because I just don't. But yeah, it's kind of hilarious. Like everyone who did this within not too long is paying the consequences. But I do think Nexstar and Sinclair should release how much they lost, because I've noticed Disney has to, but they're the ones who started this shit. And I don't think I think Nexstar could see their merger not happen, not because the FCC will turn it down, but I mean Sinclair is going to be heavily. It sounds like the Senate is going to have a meeting, so maybe none of this, uh, like none of these mergers happen now because they're so performative and stupid. Like it's just a bad business move in terms of like because almost every industry reporter was like, "How are you going to explain to a shareholder, oh, I was so offended by that a racist got shot and someone made fun of him, and so I pulled his show," which is like whatever. Just the whole thing is dumb, and I think like no one who was involved in it and made any of these decisions about Kimmel came out looking smart or intelligent. Or I also think like Disney could have done the smarter thing, which would be like, hey, technical, just say it's technical difficulties, uh, and we'll just come back the next night and stuff. But because like Sinclair had to be, what a bunch of fucking babies. Just I'm glad it didn't work out for this dumbass. But actually, Nexstar had something to lose. Sinclair are just being little pick me bitches, and like I love that Sinclair was like, we'll do it too, and now they have to. Sinclair should suffer the consequences. Dumbass, little fucking stupid ass conservative. What a bunch of losers. All right, let's talk about. I think this is all like shit I hate. Let's do it. Tilly Norwood, everybody's favorite actress who can't stop saying racial slurs, is apparently an AI actress. Who? Okay, so apparently this AI company is like, we really want to get representation for our AI actress, which is dumb. Because here's the thing I love about AI companies because they put these big things. It's this whole thing that like I love business people who will say like, guys, if we make you pay for water, you would. And I'm like, yes, but would they like that you're doing that? And would they then come up with another thing to do? And they never go, oh right, yeah, they would like actually hate us, and like that's maybe we push things too far. So anyway, Tilly Norwood, who can seriously not stop watching CP if she really can. It's really gross. She then apparently they really, so this company wants to do this. They released this video showing how great she was, and in this video, this part is not a joke. I want to specify this. I don't know if you watch this bullshit AI slap video, but they constantly bring up how they can make her do sex scenes, how they can, they don't have to have they don't have to have a consent form. They don't have to have like a what's it called? The people who are there to make sure the sex scenes are okay. What sorry, I'm blanking. But like you don't have to have all that. She'll do anything. She's like no morals and all this stuff. And they keep like advertising it. Where I'm like, the fuck is wrong with you guys? Like, why is this like this is your take? Like Tilly Norwood will do anything you want, and you're like, okay. I mean, when Tilly Norwood isn't collecting tons of creepy Nazi propaganda, I just don't understand why they think this will work. And the thing is, like, we've never seen her act in anything ever. And the clips of this shitty ad they made um don't convince me of that. Like, I do not under intimacy coordinator. Thank you. They do in this ad. They make a ton of like, oh, because you have to ask women to smile, but Tilly Norwood will definitely smile anytime you ask her to. And you're like, oh, fuck off, dude. Like, what is this? But they never make a sake for, oh, the public is hyped for Tilly Norwood. They go, you will love Tilly Norwood. And I don't know if you know anything about the general public, but if you go, you'll love this, and then they go, why? And your answer is, you'll love this. They're like, fuck off. Like, come on. One of the reasons I actually think, I was thinking about Jar Jar Binks with this. I was like, one of the reasons people hate Jar Jar Binks is because like there was a major push that everyone was like, you will love Jar Jar Binks. And that is honestly, the public will for real go, fuck off. like it's not even like, I don't think it's Ahmed Best's fault. It's Lucas's publicity team that's sort of at fault for that. But it is I don't know. I know Sean Astin, who is president of SAG, has said he thinks he will talk to agencies about this. No agency has signed Tilly Norwood, probably because she has no value at all. And then the company is also like, oh, well, she's not an actress. She's an AI resource or some shit. Nobody wants this, dude. Like, nobody's asking for it. She wasn't like a really cool role in an indie movie and everyone liked her and everyone's like, what? That's AI? I'm so shocked. Like, she looks like AI. I do not understand like her look, and apparently it's based on somebody else who says it looks just like her. Like, this is such an obviously moral failure. The fact that like none of these people understand how art works and yet want to think they can just dominate it is a joke. And it's just this is such, and now already see them tweeting like, will she be the first AI actress to win an Oscar? No, she won't. That's not a thing. They're not going to let that happen. You, what is wrong with you guys? She hasn't done anything yet. If she like, if she was really critically acclaimed in a Mike Lee movie, maybe I'd be like, oh, maybe we have something to worry about. But like, I know Emily Blunt said we're screwed and stuff, but like, I don't think you're screwed. Nobody's paying for this shit. Like, it's just gonna be used for porn, and that's all it's gonna ever be. Like, and it's pretty clear that's all y'all want to do with it because that's what you kept bringing up in the weird ad for it. Jesus. Anyway, if Tilly Norwood would stop writing hate pieces about Amber Amber Heard on Twitter, then maybe she would get to acting. But anyway, I just don't understand this at all. I also saw an ad for an AI thing before One Battle After Another, which had MF Doom's, I think it was the accordion song. Um, it honestly just upset me that they'd use an MF Doom or Mad Villain beat on that. I really want to know why they let that happen. It didn't, like most AI things, it'll make your life easier. And you're like, in what way? Like, what if you didn't have to think? And I'm like, doesn't that what makes me human? You go, what if I was human? How are you human? No, I don't know. Just stop playing. Don't fuck with MF Doom, man. Like, that's like, it's also like a very real kind of person. You know what I mean? It's just such a weird, like such a like a human kind of, I don't know. I'm very much convinced that like a lot of these people don't like the human connection. They just like the money part. That shouldn't be a shock. In other, this is my last like things are shitty news. If anyone wants to do a super chat, we're not at 20 yet, but if we do, I'll do the flashy. Sorry, I gotta say that and all that stuff. If you saw that Glenn Powell has this Chad Power show, which I don't know anyone who's one interested in or who has watched. He apparently had a scene with the Hawk Tuah girl, whatever her dumbass name is, and apparently it was actually not supposed to be Hawk Tuah lady. It was supposed to be another person. And if you see the scenes from it, it very much looks like her and Glenn Powell were not in the same room together, or at least shot at the same time. I'm not. Maybe Glenn Powell read lines with her or something. But it looks like you could easily do that. I think it is. I'm not interested in this Chad Power show. I have no clue why Glenn Powell is doing it. I heard his pitch on one of the late night shows, and I was like, why would? So it's like Mrs. Doubtfire, but you're just the same gender. I don't. Whatever. But it just sucks that like another actress filmed a part in that, and they cut her part out and put the Hawk Tuah girl. Just like what happened to Tobey Maguire in Life of Pi. Not really, but it sucks. I feel bad for her, that actress. That's bullshit that happened. Um, the Naval Podcast. What? Yeah. I just don't. I also don't think even before like the crypto thing, I was like, is it like? Oh, it was fake. I thought it wasn't fake. Which part is fake? The Hawk Tuah part? It seemed like everyone thought that was real. It's fake. Oh, that's disappointing. Okay, if it was fake, I apologize. Never mind. Let's move on to. Oh, it was a joke. Oh, I wish it was a joke. Now I like Glenn Powell less now that he allowed that to happen. I'm not gonna look it up. Let's just whatever. That girl was replaced. Well, okay, that's what I'm saying. She was replaced. Anyway, all right. Let's move on to a positive. I don't understand this at all. Hey, Super Dusky. Okay, So reading Rainbow. Reading Rainbow is oh, what about a critic short before the Simpsons movie too? Thank you, Vanilla Wonderfly. I would love that. Cheers to you. I would love that. I hope they do it. Or Life in Hell. Life in Hell would be cool too. Um all right. Let's talk about the Reading Rainbow. I think there's been a talk of a Reading Rainbow return for a while. When it was cut because of No Child Left Behind, which is um that's I as I recall, which I love all these anyway. Fucking did that? No, I think anyway. I hope I'm still alive. It's okay. Um Reading Rainbow is back and it's going to be it's basically on YouTube. It's going to debut on it's a kids focused YouTube channel on October 4th, so this Saturday actually. And it's actually produced by the Buffalo Toronto Public Media out of Buffalo, New York. And it has the guy from who's the librarian guy. I want to say his name right from TikTok. Um, what's his name? Anyway, Mr. Librarian said. Anyway, I showed it to my kids. My kids actually do watch. We watch PBS Kids most of the time. Uh, who which has a lot of great programming and stuff like that. Mikkel Threets, he's a librarian, and he will be the host of the new one. But yeah, we watch it. He actually has one of the books my kids read. Gonti Gento. Get I can't pronounce it at all. I guess what I can't pronounce things. This is a shock to all of you. I know you're all shocked at the chat. But it looks like as someone who watches PBS stuff with my kids, it looked good. Like and it looked cool, and I do plan on watching it with them this Saturday. The celebrity stuff, they used to have famous people or bigger actors read the book, so that, or at least my memory of it. Although I will say my favorite episode is, as everyone's was when he went to the set of Star Trek. So I don't know if this guy can go to the set of Star Trek, but I feel like he should just to keep it going. But I'm glad that they're actually doing something with Reading Rainbow. I think it's a good show. It gets kids more into reading. There should be more to get more kids into reading. Also, if you I don't think any I don't know how many of you guys who watch have kids. The library is free. It's a good place to take your kids. You can do computer time, you can do playtime, you can read books. There's a lot of great things about the library. So I'm glad that there is a new Reading Rainbow. We need more people to prioritize libraries because the more public interest in libraries, the more they can stick around. And as a resource we all fucking need. Like, it's a good place to chill. You can go and just chill on your phone in a chair. You don't even have to talk to anybody or look at any fucking books. Um, they are too good for Reading Rainbow now. I would argue. I mean, they're just on Paramount Plus. They could use the press. Um, no, but I'm very for this. I grew up watching LeVar Burton on Reading Rainbow. I'm very pro LeVar Burton because of that. But I like that he is the host of Reading Rainbow. I think that's very appropriate. I'm very pro library for kids. I am probably going to watch it. I don't know if I'll maybe next week I'll do a review of the first episode. Um, but it looked like a solid thing for kids, and not just because I like Reading Rainbow. My kids were into the trailer when we watched it, so good for Reading Rainbow. I'm glad it's back, man. It was a good show. Okay, we're gonna get through a few things, then we'll talk about Sam Raimi. Don't worry. It was announced that Scream 7 is coming out on February 27th of 2026. I'm really curious how Scream 7 the reception is going to be because of the whole thing with Melissa Barrera. That's going to be interesting. And we haven't had a trailer yet. So and one thing that was really quick is we keep hearing Bond rumors. It's pretty much been confirmed that we're not going to hear anything until we actually have a script or something. So I do think we're not going to hear anything. It'll probably be a younger guy. That's all we know. But stop. If you read any Bond rumors, and anyone who's saying that, they really don't know what they're talking about. Okay, so Sam Raimi. And then we'll talk about some Spider-Man rumors. Sam Raimi has been talking and meeting with Marvel. That's why I said maybe, because he really has been meeting with Marvel. They're saying it's not Doctor Strange 3. A lot of industry reporters are actually saying it's Midnight Suns. No one's really sure what it is. They just know, like, Kevin Feige is very pro Sam Raimi. I would understand that since almost every year it feels like we get Sam Raimi Spider-Man's released in theaters and they do well. It seems like there's a lot of love for those movies. He's a good comic book director. I enjoyed his Doctor Strange too. It seems like some people did, some people didn't. I remember I only saw it once. I should rewatch it. Um, and he's a weird kind of horror director. And there's some talk of him doing Midnight Suns, which would be like Ghost Rider and Moon Knight and Blade. I actually think, uh, you know, get him to do Blade. Like he is a certified awesome horror director. He's directed one of the probably the best directed horror films of all time. I don't think he's done a vampire thing, but I'm gonna be honest. I think if, like you said, Sam Raimi directing Blade with Mahershala Ali, that sounds like an interesting movie to me. I know Mahershala Ali is very involved in it, but I think like a Sam Raimi Blade movie sounds pretty cool. Like going back to horror and like with the kind of violence that you expect from Sam Raimi, if you're gonna do a balls to the wall Blade movie that's directed with Sam Raimi coming back to like horror stuff, I think that's like the best scenario. To be honest with you, I don't think there's a lot of directors. It's like when Scott Derrickson found out he was replacing him, he was like, Sam Raimi's like a god to me. So a lot of people are saying Midnight Suns or saying like other big projects. I'm gonna be honest with you. Uh, I mean, it's not, yeah. I will agree. I will agree with you that it isn't a top Sam Raimi movie, but it is a better Marvel movie. Yes, because there's Sam Raimi's made some good, but they are talking to him. It sounds like Kevin Feige is still very much interested in him, but it does seem like Marvel is really into. Sorry about all the ads. Um, still interested in working with him. They have not denied this. They've pretty much let it go, which to me means he actually is talking to them, which I think is interesting. But I I can see them doing something with him. But in my mind, I keep hearing Midnight Suns. I would just have him do Blade. I know he's not a black director, but he is like the guy who did Evil Dead 2. You know what I mean? It's like, don't you want like he's a horror director. Like almost every horror director working now is influenced by him. He's one of the legends. Let him do Blade. It's like who did the best? Everyone likes. I haven't actually really sat down with the Blade movies. I should. Like everyone likes Del Toro's Blade. Why not get somebody? No, not Thunderbolts 2. I don't want. Why did you say? Shut up! Don't take that out. Delete that. Uh, um, I don't know. Anything he does, I'm sure will be interesting. I know his movie coming out in January and stuff like that, but it'll be interesting to see what that is. But apparently, they're not done with Sam Raimi. We'll see. Maybe nothing will have become of that, um, but yeah. All right. So here's some Spider-Man rumors. What's going on? We're hearing that Sony very much wants to have as many people in the new Spider-Man movie because of the last one was the big one where they had all those people showing up. Or the other Spider-Man. Sorry, I hope that doesn't. No Way Home isn't spoiled for anyone. I'm assuming you've all seen that. There's like someone in the chat was like, "No, I've been waiting this whole time. You're telling me they're in it." Um, uh, oh, I actually would like a Sam Raimi Wolverine. I think that would be cool. Oh, he would do a better some stockpile. I'll tell you that. But there's talk of the Defenders will probably be in the new Spider-Man, Brand New Day. Daredevil definitely. The Hulk and Punisher will be heavily involved. There's a lot of characters. We have heard a confirmation that it's a female shapeshifter villain, and it has been cast, but we still don't know what it is. We know that the Stone Guy and Scorpion are involved, and the other detail is that we're hearing that MJ has a new boyfriend in it, and that sort of like starts Spider-Man getting all upset because obviously she doesn't remember him, so she went out with some other guy. He don't like it. I wouldn't like that either. So George Toon says Charlotte's Web limited series is coming out on HBO today. What I don't get about cheers to you, man. What I don't get about the Charlotte Web stuff, I'll be for real with you, is they made a good Charlotte's Web movie. To me, I feel like that's the top. And then they're always like, we can do it better. And no one really does better than that. Wasn't that Hanna-Barbera? Like, no one's going to do better than that Charlotte Web animated movie from the 70s. I think it was from the 70s. Like no one, I don't know why they keep trying. Because like, what is it from Charlotte's perspective? Like I don't. To me, it's like you nailed that. Like move on anyway. But I don't know if I'll check it out or not. To me, it's like I'd much rather watch the old one. But cheers to you, man. I don't hear as much talk about that. Maybe I should review it. And I'll say did and I forgot, which has never happened before. All right. Man. Yeah, we're not that late. Okay. So this was requested a lot. And Bloxy Axwinkle is not here today, which stinks because we actually have Kevin James news. Kevin James and Alan Richardson, who are about on par physique wise, are suburban dads haunted by mercenaries in Playdate. This is a new movie. You can see both of them. It's going to be on Prime Video on November 12th. It's directed by Luke Greenfield, who did The Girl Next Door as well as Let's Be Cops. Um, uh, um, yeah, it's an action comedy. Kevin James plays a newly unemployed accountant who becomes a stay-at-home dad to his young stepson after losing his job. He accepts a playdate invitation from the charismatic Jeff, played by Alan Richardson, a fellow stay-at-home dad who turns out to be a loose cannon. Expecting a slow afternoon of small talk, I'm just reading this whole thing, and football with their sons, and an ad from Entertainment Weekly. Brian finds himself thrust into utter chaos as a group of ruthless mercenaries pursue him and Jeff. What begins as a playdate quickly gets fired up into a full blown survival scenario. I guess I should be into this as a dad who goes to playdates. We'll we'll see. I'm gonna watch the Shane Black movie if Sid Ram's still here. I'm not sure if I'll review. I'm curious. I heard Mark Wahlberg's not so good in it, but I do. But that sounds like a good idea for Kevin James. Maybe Alan Richardson. Maybe Alan Richardson. Okay, before we talk about the box office, which I will talk about, we found out the Social Network not sequel called The Social Reckoning, which seems to have every interesting person in Hollywood in it. If Variety's website will cooperate with me. Um, Starring Mikey Madison, Jeremy Allen White, Bill Burr, who nobody seems to like presently, and Jeremy Strong. Doesn't sound like they're getting anybody back from the original Social Network, which is probably smart for anyone who um, was in the original Social Network. Sounds like a smart move. I isn't it coming out like next year, October 9th, 2026. I do not think this is a good idea, and I think yeah, I'm gonna see that. You're gonna have you watched the Shane Black movie already, Sinram? I'm curious. Um, I just don't. I think it's kind of an interesting idea, but I think like I don't. I'm not exactly sure what he's gonna prove with this. You know, I'm not a big. I don't know. And you're gonna follow up David Fincher? Like, I just don't see it. I'm sorry. I just don't. I don't know. I think the original Social Network is a pretty big classic. I wouldn't fuck with that, but I don't know. It sounds very newsroomy, and I didn't particularly like the newsroom. It had that really cool clip that goes viral every now and then, but I don't know. It sounds like a really dumbass idea. Like, you know, you're gonna approve Facebook did the conservative thing. I don't know, like what that's gonna dig up. Like, uh, I don't know. I think he thinks it's gonna be like All the President's Men, but it's like I think he waited too long, dude. All right, so let's talk about the box office. And there is actually some interesting stuff. So One Battle After Another was good for Paul Thomas Anderson. Um, and it was his biggest opening. Although this is his first time he's had a movie open in wide release first and not do a limited release. To be clear, Aaron Sorkin's directing the new Social Network. To be clear, anyway, but it's his biggest opening. A lot of box office people were doing like, oh, when his movies went wide or when it had its biggest weekend. It was kind of confusing to compare this. To be honest, like I saw people do various things and stuff. So, but it was his first like came out wide release first weekend, all that. It made $22 million. That of course broke Warner Brothers' stupid 40 million thing that they really had going for them, where they had like seven, I think it was seven movies opened to 40 million plus. This did not. I think that'd be a little harder. Some people were hoping it would. I thought it might open closer to 30, despite Leo's high asking price. He doesn't really open that well. But I saw it and I really like the movie. I'll get more into specifics um, about that. But it it kind of it is interesting because yeah, I think most of the time the comparison people were making was fourth weekends with uh opening weekends, which is weird. I also think part of this, and I wanted to bring this up, is with Christopher Nolan. You're like, oh man, remember when we saw Christopher Nolan movie opening weekend? And in this, it's like because there's never really been a big everybody go see a Paul Thomas Anderson movie the first weekend thing. I do think like the audience wasn't organized like they usually are, and I do think that's sort of like because I've never seen. I was kind of confused because usually when one of his movies open, the talk is slow, and this was not slow at all. And I do think like possibly when his next movie comes out, it'll probably increase. But this was his biggest opening ever. Good for him, and it was yeah. It right now it's his fourth highest gross. Paul Thomas Anderson's fourth highest grossing movie in America, but his first highest grossing is $40 million. So let's just say I think One Battle After Another will outgross that. I think that'll end up being his highest grossing movie. I do think like it could play for a lot longer. I think it'll play for older audiences, which unlike when we talk about younger audiences kind of see everything as soon as they can, and older audiences take their time. And I can see this holding a little better. Maybe not this weekend because you're competing with Taylor Swift and The Rock. So I do expect a pretty big drop off. It's also very long, and that hurts showtimes as well. And I think it'll probably get bounced from a few theaters. So, but it did get number one at least, and good for Paul Thomas Anderson. If you are a fan of his, I would say whenever the next thing is, please see it opening weekend. It very much will help him continue to make stuff. And there's a lot of Oscar buzz. I could see this playing for a while. I could see it crossing 100 mil if the word of mouth is good, but it's going to have a hard time doing that with the next couple weekends. But we'll see about that. But a lot of people have also brought up how this was the box office was covered for this versus Sinners. I sort of don't see the comparison because Paul Thomas Anderson doesn't have the rights to this. It's not a original movie, but it isn't the greatest opening, and they were a lot nicer than Sinners. I think the Sinners thing was just because like motherfuckers be racist. So I don't. I'm not gonna like play all. Oh, if you, it's alluding to that maybe. I'm like, nah, fuck that. They're just racist, and they didn't like that a black director was getting the rights, and you know, this had Leo and all that stuff. And even though it does have black actresses in it and stuff, I think that was part of it. I'm never going to be told otherwise. However, I do think this is a good opening for Paul Thomas Anderson. Not a good one for the budget because it was over $100 million, but we'll see what his future will hold, and maybe it'll work out with ancillary markets and streaming, and maybe it can build for a while before the Thanksgiving shit really hits. Hello, Nanbox64. Gabby's Dollhouse did well. I have no clue how much this one cost actually, but I for a kids movie, I think it did better than the Spirit movie, made about $13 million. Demon Slayer falling off a bit, but I think it's past $600 million worldwide. It's past 100 million. It has not. Oh no, it's crossed it. Has it crossed it? I think it's now the highest grossing international movie of all time. What's okay? Hold on. Let's check out Crouching Tiger. I can say this was Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Let's see what do we got here? What do we got? Oh, it's 128. Okay, you got to make 8 million. Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer's got to make 8 million, but they're almost there. They're second highest, definitely highest grossing animated film of all time. Oh, hello, Natmax64. Planning. I've never done this, and I gotta say, this is something I've always wanted to do in my life, and I would like to do it. I haven't seen Lawrence and Arabia in a while. I got to see it with my grandfather, and I'm really glad I did. Just on VHS, but it's like he was just like, man, this movie's so good, and it is. Planning to see Lawrence Arabia in 70mm this November. Very excited for that one. Cheers to you for having an awesome film experience. Cheers to you. That's awesome. Congratulations. I'm assuming you have the tickets already, but that's awesome. Where are you seeing it? Let us know if you don't mind saying so. But cheers to you, Nutboxes. And let's do the I believe that, well, let me confirm that, but I believe that is taking us, okay, we'll have that. Well, 32, oh, Gabby's Dollhouse will make that back. Gabby's got it in the bag. The Strangers, oh man, I went to the bathroom while my kids were watching Gabby's Dollhouse. And I came back and I went into the wrong theater, and it was The Strangers, and I was like, why is this movie so dark? Is this like a parody thing in the movie? And then I was like watching, I was like, oh, this is the wrong theater. I'm glad my kids didn't do that though. Yeesh. I actually didn't know it came out, so that's showing. A lot of places put Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3 as one thing, because Fathom did the Spider-Man movies. I'm not sure how they did that. I know they were playing 2.1. But this is yet another weekend where we have a re-release in the top 10. We're going to see that again with Avatar this next weekend. But it is interesting the Spider-Man movies continue to be re-released. I was wondering, like, why not Tim Burton's Batman? Why not Richard Donner's Superman? Why are we not getting more of these kind of like love super? And I've noticed like Marvel, the MCU itself doesn't go, oh hey, here's Avengers, here's the first Iron Man, here's Black Panther, here's Guardians 1, at least, you know? Like why, like these very beloved ones. It feels like Sony just keeps doing it with Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. I'm like kind of curious. I think the only one who have been re-released are Tom Holland's Spider-Man, to be honest with you. Oh yeah, Demon Slayer has made over 600 million worldwide. It's eighth for the year worldwide, and it could be in the top five. And our last, this isn't box office, but this is the thing. K-pop Demon Hunter is actually not the number one in streaming for the first time forever, and has the longest record in the Netflix top 10, which would mean something if the Netflix top 10 could be verified by journalists or anyone other than Netflix. But in their made up little top 10 bullshit, K-pop Demon Hunter is doing great. I'm sure that's true actually, but it means I will never take that shit for real. Like I've never believed that stuff ever. It's the most bullshit list ever. But whatever. It's number two. It's held in the top 10 longer than anything. Congratulations to K-pop Demon Hunters on winning a thing that might be real. I'm not even sure. All right, let's go through two stories and then trailers. We have so there's going to be another, sorry, a very young Frankenstein. You know, there's Young Frankenstein. They're going to be a pilot called Very Young Frankenstein. It's going to be on FX. It sounds interesting. I honestly think they're like, well, what we do in the shadows is leaving. So what should we do instead? And oh, Beverly Hills. Oh, cool. Oh, they did do that. MLT. I didn't know that they did not do that here. But it's gonna have Kumail Nanjiani and Zach Galifianakis and Carrie Elwes. Which actually that makes sense because I think Carrie Elwes is the only one in this cast who's previously been in a Mel Brooks movie and was good in one too. We'll see. I mean, History of the World, the show is decent, so I think that could work. But we'll see. Okay, this was, I didn't know about this, and it's probably one of the dumbest fucking things I've heard. So apparently Elon Musk was scrolling through Netflix and found out about Dead End Paranormal Park and got mad that it has a trans character even though it's been canceled for 2 years. Okay. He was saying it's transgender propaganda, and he vowed that they should cancel the streaming service over a show that uh, is already over. So okay. This is like new levels of performative bullshit because like you want to cancel Netflix, they already canceled it. They probably were gonna write it off for tax purposes. This is the thing I love about it. They're just picking stuff that probably would have just gone away. And then they make it big. Is that what they're doing? Is that I've because I kept seeing this everywhere and I wasn't reading the stories, and then when someone, I think it was Cornbread or somebody, I'm sorry if I'm getting the name wrong, suggested in the Discord, I was a little like, what? And I think, yeah, I'm sorry about I don't know why. Maybe I should switch camera. Maybe it's the camera thing. I might switch because I can do it through my phone, and I might actually do that next time. I'm sorry to everyone. And it's kind of annoying, especially when I do the segments later. I have to sort of edit around it. I am frozen. Man, I'm sorry, everybody. Am I live? What's going on? See, on my end it says I'm okay, but anyway, it's I don't know. I find this whole thing stupid because you're like cancel Netflix, but it's like you were already what did they already canceled it? I don't understand. All right, trailers. Oh man, what is going on? Yeah, I don't like. Why would you get upset over a show that's like already can't? Couldn't you just go? Oh, it's canceled. Okay. I mean, if he's trying to remove all the LGBT, it's like the whole thing of like it's not good for kids. It's like what? He's not good for kids. I'm not. I don't want my kids to know. The only thing that they know about him is that he's a loser. Like I just don't understand. Anyway, all right. Let's switch. We're gonna switch the lights back at least to. Okay. Curious. Is it the? Well, whatever. All right. So trailers. There was a Jay Kelly trailer. This is the thing that Noah Baumbach is doing about like an aging movie star. Instead of Adam Sandler playing that in Funny People, he's playing the manager, and George Clooney is. It looks okay. I'm sort of not. I don't know. I'm like okay. I kind of wish George Clooney would be in like an action thing again. I don't. Um. I don't really. I don't know. I wasn't really super. It's not as I'm not as excited about it. I think I'll probably watch it though. The Family Guy. I'm confused. Is Family Guy just doing a Halloween special every year? When I asked Ryan, he just said maybe. I'm a little lost on that one, but they are doing another one, and we are going to get. Maybe it's the lights. I might need to switch to the phone. Maybe I'll do the phone next week. We'll try it out. They're doing another one. That will be the segment next week. So if you see there's a Family Guy Halloween special on Hulu and you want to watch it before I review it on next stream, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just telling you that now because I know I'm going to do it. There's Star Wars Visions 3, which I think that trailer came out right after the stream, or I missed it last week or something. It looks really cool. It always looks cool. I should probably watch all of those and review them or something. But this is one of the best looking Star Wars things coming. Solar Opposites is apparently ending. I know some people will watch it, but it seems like the love for that is kind of gone. Anyway, and then I saw the Shelby Oaks trailer, which I forgot Keith David was in it. I keep actually hearing promising things about this, although I did talk about how I wasn't really thrilled that he reviews neon movies while also being paid for neon and all that stuff. I am going to review it. I have heard a lot of people suggest critics are going to have their knives out for him. I don't know. I'll try to have an open mind and so forth, but I don't think traditional critics really care about him. I really think it'll just be on YouTube that it's going to be, people either be super nice because he made it or super shitty. That's what I think. I don't think I think I would be more concerned about Red Letter Media for him than Owen Gleiberman or Matt Singer or Alison Wilmore, any of those traditional critics. I don't think they are going to get as upset as the YouTube people. That's what I've always thought. We'll see. Um, what do we have? Okay, just a few things, then we'll take a break. We're good. So this is probably the bigger of the last stories. Bad Bunny is going to be the performer in the Super Bowl halftime show. Supposedly Taylor Swift turned it down because she wanted kind of a commercial spot of her choosing, and she wanted the rights to her halftime show. And also, and I've said this before, they do not pay for streaming. Or sorry, they do not. Sorry, I heard stream. They do not pay the performers. Like Dr. Dre famously paid for his halftime show. The Weeknd paid for his. You if you're a performer, it doesn't really work out for you. Oftentimes, they will take a percentage of your ticket sales for the year after your halftime show. They do all sorts of shitty things, and I totally get why Taylor Swift was like, no. And apparently, at the end, they said, well, it's for exposure, and it's like, I don't think. I agree when there's like Taylor Swift doesn't need exposure. I do think they sort of messed up. There's some talk that She just said no because she's waiting till her fiance is done performing football, but who knows if that's true or not. But they picked Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny is typically the biggest global artist on Spotify almost every year that I've seen it. I know him sort of. I know the album with the kid on the bike. I don't know what that's called. One of his songs I was really into for a little bit, but I want to try to learn more about him because I don't really know that stuff super well. But it will be interesting. I do think like the whole halftime show will be in Spanish. The conservatives are going to be all upset, but he is like a huge artist. He's a huge global artist, and in fact, the most watched halftime show on YouTube was Jennifer Lopez and Shakira actually. So I do think like that was probably something they're interested in, and I know NFL is interested in expanding, sorry, their reach, and that will actually help them do that. And I know apparently they reached out to Adele, but it's like a shitty deal. I actually always heard. I think Doug Walker will review. I think he will. I think a lot of people will. It's like an easy layup. I think a lot of people will. It's a big movie for YouTube. I'll say that. But yeah, I know like I heard this rumor that like Rihanna when she did it because she turned it down because of the ticket sales thing. The reason she showed her pregnant belly was because they're like, well, if you perform this year, you have to pay us money. And she was like, okay. And then she like did that to be like, fuck you guys, I'm not touring. And I thought that was hilarious. But yeah, Bad Bunny. We'll see how he does on SNL. I think it'll be an interesting performance. I think it's like makes sense. He's a huge global artist. I want to learn more about him. But yeah. Okay. The other things is Trump says he's going to put tariffs on movies. No one seems to know how that'll work, and he didn't expand on it. I think Barron told him about Demon Slayer and he got upset. That's probably all that is. We learned that Brad Bird says they are now recording the voices for Ray Gun. It sounds like that is very much happening. Doesn't sound like Incredibles 3 is something he gives a shit about, but he is going to do Ray Gun. And then apparently I didn't know, I read that apparently there's been, I think I forgot about, they wanted to make an Invisible Man too, but Elizabeth Moss has been talking about it, and she did say they were going to do it, and they are working on it, but it's just taking a while. I would say so because it's been 5 years, and that was right before COVID 2020, so it feels like more than 5 years, definitely, you know? So, yeah. And then finally, before we end the show, this part, because I'm going to take RIP to Jane Goodall. I think most people know her from documentaries and stuff like that. Obviously, did a lot for conservation and pandas and a lot with nature that I've seen through documentaries throughout my life. And I think we're all kind of the worse off for not having her. It's very sad that she passed away this past week. Okay. So I am going to take a break. I'm sorry that is it the flashy? I don't know. I mean, we'll figure it out. I think I might switch to my phone because I noticed it doesn't look like that much better, but it looks a little better. So I'll try to work. Maybe next stream we'll do an experiment early on. If it doesn't work, I can just switch. I'll have both. I'll have it set up and we can switch or something like that. Maybe you should. So I always want to do a stream where I just like test stuff, but I think like I never have the time. So, uh, you know, I could see that. Man. I watched Chainsaw Man, and there was one where they're in like the eighth floor, and they're stuck in the eighth floor for like 2 episodes because of this weird dimension, the time stop thing, and then Chainsaw Man just like takes a fucking nap, and I gotta say that I was like relatable. If I was stuck in that and it was a comfy bed, I was like, look, we can figure this out later. Uh, uh, but I'm gonna take a nap. I was like, I love Chainsaw Man. I'm getting into. I think I will do a review of season 1 around the time of the movie, and maybe a thing like I like. I think it's actually one of the better shows about like millennials and people trying to find themselves shows, which are usually kind of like depressing and like serious dramas. And I like how that's like, oh man, I have no money. Turned into a Chainsaw Man. Just awesome. Anyway, all right. I actually kind of think like One Punch Man I thought was like an interesting thing on like modern culture as well. So, or at least season 1. I didn't see season 2. I was like, yeesh. All right. I am going to take a break real quick. Then we will come back and talk about Homestuck, which I hope people aren't like, what the fuck, Jim? And then we'll do questions, and then that'll be it for this week. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna wait. Let me get the. Maybe I'll have the. I'm gonna have the music play. I need to have a song that's like 5 minutes or something. But here, I'm gonna mute it, and I'll play. At least play the theme song, and then I'll be right back, and we'll finish up with the show. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Because that one guy, you don't know who he is? Okay. Anyway, what's a Gemma? Germa? I don't know what. I'm a little worried about doing this. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if I don't know. I'm probably gonna sound really out of it. Hello, we're back. All right. Yeah, I'm a little worried about that. Is there gonna be like, geez, Jim, you don't know nothing about this Homestuck pilot thing. A cinephile who's What? Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll tell you. Like, we'll see. Seems like there are people who are reviewing it who haven't, but we'll see. Um. Okay. I guess this is one of the last calls for super chats. If you'd like to do one before the end of the show, now is your time. Okay. Sorry, I gotta do that. But yeah, let's do this homestuck thing. So I've never read this comic Homestuck ever. I didn't even know. I'd sort of heard of it, and then there was this big pilot, and people were like, "It's going to be this big pilot." There's been a lot of big animated pilots. You look at Bullet Time, you look at your Gaslight District, the Amazing Digital Circus, and then Knights of Guinevere, uh, last show, and all that stuff. Uh, so I do think there was sort of some talk. Why did this not do as well as most of these pilots? And I think I know why, but this isn't a video that's going to be about how this wasn't successful and stuff. It's more how this sort of doesn't work. Although I will say, it looks like people who are playing a video game and people who are living in a video game, and it feels more accurate than something um, like Free Guy or something. It feels very much like Homestuck is like in a video game world. People who understand video games. It felt very authentic to that, but the score was like a bit much. Like it felt like someone who understood score only like original scores from big movies and nothing else. Almost like people who um only watch Marvel movies or something. Uh, but I mean, I like the main guy. Um, but I do think like the other pilots we're talking about here sort of let you in, and it felt very much like something that was like, well, you know what Homestuck is, and I'm like, no, and I don't think this let me in. Apparently, like the the sort of beta game they're going to play is going to do all this stuff which you sort of get from it, but I didn't really get, honestly. um but it just, and I thought the design, I get that that's like what the design of the comic is, but I felt like even, Pan's pilot was a lot better animated, and this is by Vizzy Pop and all those people. Like it just felt like the animation wasn't that great. It was mainly for fans and didn't want to be anything else, and honestly felt like kind of weak in the storytelling department. It felt like too much because there's like a pent up thing to make it. I'm not really someone who's against Vizzy Pop or anything like that, but I didn't think this was a really smartly directed thing. I thought everyone who's in it was like kind of too, um, like it was honestly like they're smelling their own farts and weren't really thinking about. They weren't opening a window for air. They weren't really thinking about how other people could get into it. And I didn't really feel like if you weren't into it, you would want to watch it at all. And I think that's probably why it didn't do as well. I understand probably because Vizzy Pop has a big YouTube channel, people were surprised. But I think like you shouldn't be surprised. I don't know. I to me it's like I just don't think this was very good. It didn't change my mind, and it feels like kind of a lost opportunity because like you look at like let's say, and I understand it's a very different thing. You look at like the Mario movie. The Mario movie, I know everyone thinks of their own perspective and how their age group felt about it. But for anyone who's younger, it was how they got into Mario. Uh, and I don't think this introduced anyone to Homestuck at all. Homestruck, no Homestuck. It just made me go, what the fuck is this nerd shit? I don't, leave me alone. Like it just didn't. I don't want to watch another one. I'm not curious what happens next. I didn't. I actually think the one interesting thing is this is one of the few pilots where I wasn't thinking about the animation at all, which by the way is not a compliment. Like it felt under animated but overdone. To me, this was kind of bad, dude. Like I just it it's not good. You know, it got a video game thing, but like they didn't really care about me getting into it. And if you're gonna put that much money and time and have it be on a bigger animator YouTube cheaters channel, you had an opportunity, and you kind of biffed it. You messed it up. You face planted by sort of doing what you thought the fans wanted, and I hope they're happy. Although it doesn't seem like from what I'm is fine. I don't mind if you do it for just the fans, but then why are you investing all this time and energy into it? It's kind of a major misunderstanding of what you can do with it. Um, well, it was released on her. I understand maybe she has no involvement, but she released it on her channel, so she has some involvement. She was a producer on it, or she was semi involved. I mean, she's releasing it on her YouTube channel, but I just didn't feel like it was very good. And I found it to be a disappointment. And I think like there was a lot of talk like, oh, it didn't do what these did. But I think like part of that is because if someone's like, did you see it? And you go, it's just like, it doesn't make you go. I think the other one's like, oh, you got to see this. This one, it felt like, oh, yeah, you got to check. I guess we'll check this one out. This felt like, we're hearing all these. Also, the Knights of Guinevere just coming out, I think. What? Remiku Haruku Shrine said, if it's any consideration, Shim, the pilot represents 130 to 140 pages from the comic in 11 minutes. What the fuck? That's a stupid idea. I I definitely get why people aren't checking this out. I think it was sort of a mistake. I think if honestly if you're gonna do, I would just rethink this thing, because understand, like, think about why people got into it. This was made by fans, and that's all they considered, and I don't think they ended up even, it seems like the fans didn't love it that much. I sort of look this as one of the big failures uh, of recent YouTube pilots. I just think it kind of stunk up the place. I wish um I think like supposedly it came out like a while ago and stuff like that, but I think they sort of messed up. I think you could do something interesting with it, and there is stuff with like especially showing a video game world very authentically, which I do think we need more in media, but I just don't. I don't really. I think it was kind of a failure. So I think maybe if you get to adapt it again, think a little bit more about getting people into it, but also think a little bit more about like maybe making a story and not considering condensing it to tell a story quickly. And it just didn't. I don't know. It's like if you wanted to rush to something, understand how to do that organically. It just felt like everything just kind of condensed into a bunch of kind of nonsense. It actually reminded me more of like the show Generation X, or like old comic book movies where they try to rush to too much stuff, and they say like, oh, it's for the fans, and like the fans are like, I guess I thanks. And I think in the end you just go, all right, thanks. I don't think I really want to involve. Maybe if Fizzy Pop didn't want to be involved, like be as connected to it, don't upload it on your YouTube channel. That's confusing. But I think this was kind of one of the worst pilots I've seen recently. And a lot of them have storytelling issues, but they have awesome animation. But this has storytelling issues and not good animation. So what exactly do I have here? I don't, you know, I don't, anyway. All right. Let's see I'm gonna write questions below. Man. I don't know. Well, apparently no one seems to like it. Why did Austin say huh? What it was confused. Um uh so explain to me what I said that made you go huh. Because the delay in streaming when it goes out. All right. Okay, maybe I will make. I don't pan stuff a lot, so I mean you should as a critic. I actually don't find it to be super I think it's like not good if you don't pan stuff. I think that's bad. If you always like stuff, kind of sus. Um, so you gotta pan stuff sometimes. All right, we have two Patreon questions here. Let's do. Okay, this person always has a long name, and I always forget who their name is, but it was like the name on Patreon is fellas. Don't drink that coffee. You'll never guess. There is a dibby in the percolator. Sorry. Said thoughts on Bruce Taylor passing. So I don't know who Bruce Taylor is, and I'm not sure. It doesn't look like he died, but he's a football player. I'm so lost on this. I mean, he was born in '48, so yeah, it sounds like he's still alive. Who's Bruce Taylor? What did this person mean by that? Explain to me. I'm so lost. Okay, Sinrad, who maybe I should have read this earlier. Sorry. Um, um, since the AI actress, not an actress or actor for that matter, has a human name with the initials TN, I suggest we refer to it simply as Tin. I believe that would more deservedly disrespect that calling it a bishop, as I may suggest on previous movie crap, but perhaps you, Jim, can think of a term for a special effect that would be even more disrespectful than it would adequately convey our utter contempt for such an insult to hardworking actual people. I mean, I just kept saying like cancelable offenses was my strategy. I don't know if I have a term. I don't want to like. I don't know. I know when people were coming up with that like term for robots called clangers and stuff. It's like I'm not so into like just because I don't like someone doesn't make me want to like bring on the slurs, you know. But but I will say, um, uh, maybe just say like I don't know. I don't know. I mean I'll probably hopefully I don't have to talk about her again. Or whatever. I actually forgot her name already. Tilly Norwood. Tilly. Yeah. I mean maybe just Norwood is good. Norwood's kind of funny. That'd be a good band name. I'm just gonna call her Nori. I'll just call her Norbit. Norbit. There we go. Norbit. Okay, Cornbread. Despite me roasting you before the stream, I thought I was the only person I knew who liked Unicorn Warriors Eternal even a little bit until now. Should we instead focus on teaming up? Definitely. No, you know what? It reminded me of action shows from the '80s or like Pirates of Dark Water and stuff like that. It reminded me of like '80s action shows kind of written, but in a steampunk way. I haven't watched it since originally. I liked it, but anyway. Remiku Hiraku Shrine. It doesn't help that the creator of Homestruck had this pilot done during a controversy cause when it came to an archival fan project. I don't know what that means, but oh, the creator isn't a good person. I'm not surprised by that. But Nathaniel Fogo, what's a pilot adaptation that you feel actually was newcomer friendly? Actually, that a pilot project. I guess you mean um a pilot adaptation. Night of the Sentinels. I actually think is from X-Men. I think a lot of the early superhero ones are. Um, yeah, I would say those are. I can't think of anyone's since then are, but I do think that one would be. I hope that answers your question. No, focus. Sorry. Um, did you watch Devil May Cry? I've actually never watched it, but I would like to. The clips I've seen were good. Nathaniel Fogo, best thing from 2007. All right, let me hold on. I'll look up. I'll answer this real quick. Hold on. 2007 movies. Just a quick. Oh man, these are not good options or plan. One of them was Blue Harvest, the Family Guy thing that's coming up here. Top 2007 picks. Wow, not. These are not. I just typed in 2007 movies. It's like number 23. Savage Grit. What the fuck? Jesus, what happened Into the Wild? I guess I don't. Not really. Documentaries, action adventure, The Golden Compass. Oh man, I remember that polar bear fight. That was cool. Man, what were There Will Be Blood and 28 Weeks Later, No Country. Oh, well, I'll say No Country for Old Men or There Will Be Blood. Oh, Ratatouille. I'm going to say There Will Be Blood. Question: have you ever seen the documentary My Old School with Alan Cumming? No, I haven't. That's interesting. I that sounds kind of cool. I guess it's with um about Alan Cumming. Um, Question: why are you so against companies trying over and over in vain to make AI work? Should we just give up because it's not feasible? Should we not cure cancer because it's not feasible? Um, I just don't think it's very good. Like they made an interesting thing with it. I just don't. I don't. But like I've never seen anything good done with it, or I just don't. There's nothing. Also, the environmental impacts. It's just like there's no way to really get around that. George, will you review Loki IRL? No, because it's just like there's no way. Like if I panned Pan's pilot, you'd be like, oh, Jim's bitter. If I like it, you're like, oh, he's his friend. There's like no way to really do it that like I think would come off authentically, and I just don't. I think it's like, do I want him to see me doing? It's just to me like I don't do that to people I know because it's too partial and like I'm not in it. Right. I mean, the knock. It's also there's a knock for a sample in it, and so it's just like I don't. I just think it's like I enjoyed it. I thought it was good, but I don't review Ian's stuff either for the same reason because it's just like you're gonna look at me as like, oh, okay, Jim, you sold out or something. It's just like it doesn't. As a critic, you have your authenticity, and you don't want to mess with it for a friend's project necessarily. So that's why I don't. But I respect. It's almost like if I'm not reviewing it, it's because I feel like most of the time with that stuff, to be honest, I'm more like happy that they did it, and I'm like more in that mode when I'm watching it. So like I don't find myself as critical. So I mean, if he wants notes from me, I'm happy to give them to him, and I'll rewatch it and stuff. But I don't think that should be public. I think that would be conflict of interest. So that's why I don't. But it's not. I did see it, and I'm very happy for him because I know he's been trying to do it for a long time. Ratboy Mickey, any DC characters you want to see for the DCU? Plastic Man, probably. I mean, get Jim Carrey. It'll be fun. Cornbread question. Don't take this seriously. Hey Jim, I haven't largely agree with every single thing you said in a movie reviews that you did Sinners. Since we politely disagree often, should I unsubscribe? No, I mean if you want to, I'm not. They never tell me why people unsubscribe. That's the problem I don't like. I wish there was like a Patreon. There's like questions for YouTube. I'm like, did the channel close or are they mad? I'm never sure. Zane Powers, do you think Elon Musk was successful in removing Netflix LGBTQs, saving kids from the evil of gay people so he can show them the wonders of apartheid instead? I mean, yeah, he shouldn't. Why is he like, that's such a weird, I'm really curious why. What a pile of shit. Jesus. Ratboy Mickey, which cartoon series would you lend your voice to if you got the chance? Honestly, anyone that would have me, but I'd say a JG Quintel thing would probably be the most fun. Or people I know too. That would be nice. Jortunes, were you a Crypto the Superdog series fan, and are you a fan of Crypto now after the movie? I'm more of a fan after the movie. I didn't really watch the show or the other cartoon movie before, but maybe I'll show it to Oscar. He still loves Crypto. He laughed still when Crypto attacked Lex Luthor. Uh Bruce Taylor is an Adult Swim actor who read a bunch of the bumpers and did some voices for. Oh, the guy who played the CEO of Adult Swim. That guy. Oh, R.I.P. to him. That's sad. I'm sorry about that. Apologies. Are you going for a Truth Man Aries next week? I do want to see Roofman more than Tron Aries. I don't know if I guess I need to see Tron Aries. I'm a little more into Roofman than Tron Aries. Maybe I'll see Roofman first. We'll see. Jim, can you fight John Cena in his last match next month? John Cena's too scared of me. Norbit, yeah. It's okay. That was you, Super Dusky. Sorry, I forgot. I always forget. I've looked up who that is, but then I forget, and then I go through this thing like once a month. I'm like, wait, who is that? Oh, it's Super Dusky. Sorry, it is funny though. I do enjoy it, but I'm like, wait, but who is that though? All right. Wait, what? Um, where were we? Okay, sorry, Cornbread. I don't know if you saw this, but chasing the dead end Netflix controversy, they started digging around and found a gay guy in some Jurassic World cartoon. At what point? When is it too far back? I just think it's like these guys are pathetic. If you're like going through stuff to find the gay characters, I don't think that shows that like culture is hypnotizing the kids. If like you can't, you have to like search through it. That would, to me, that would more show a failure of that. To be honest, like if I am, it's just loser behavior. Is he working on a thing about Jurassic World or something? I just anyway. Same powers. Did you see the article headline story about how great Tilly Norwood will be because you'll finally see a modified version on screen? What did he mean by that? I have seen some really creepy things, but it's just like as soon as you like create a woman on your thing, you just want to do creepy shit with her is like very weird. Austin, can you eat the fake steak, which I found out was mushroom? What's his name? Didn't like rare steak. Go back to being ignorant about homesick. What? I'm confused. Thoughts on the Saudi Arabia comedy festival thing? Like, I'm disappointed in Bill Burr. I totally see Louis C.K. doing that shit. I find it to be really disappointing, and it's like those guys have a lot of money. Like, it's one thing if it's like the Sheehan people because they like didn't have, that was a big there was like a huge thing for them, and they were getting money and like doing this trip. Like them, I sympathize with to a certain degree, even though they were like bamboozled and stuff, and that wasn't a smart thing to do. Like these are like millionaires who get opportunities and sell out MSG and stuff. A few of them, and like I just to me like I'm disappointed that like you guys acted like you have this like you believe in these morals and like George Carlin would have done that shit. Like stop acting like you love Lenny Bruce and George Carlin. There's no way Lenny Bruce and George Carlin would have done that shit. I'm sorry, like you failed. Zane Powers, in 50 years, when you have a day off work for Jimmy Fallon Day, how will you feel? Will you happy to have a day off work? Is the only thing Jimmy Fallon hosts is a parasite. I know Red Letter Media said that, but it's a good quote. Cornbread mentioned earlier the idea of doing a Simpsons marketing blitz for Simpsons Film 2, similar to what they did back for the first. What Disney film over the past decades has had any marketing that creative? I can't think of one, to be honest. Jim cooking show when I cook, I just like listen to music and I'm quiet. So I don't think that would be good. Uh I didn't really know them, to be honest. Like I was in a room with them once. I did, I talk a little bit of pride about that, but I don't think that's the same thing as like my relationship with Pan or Ian. I just don't see that the same way. Can you read Pan's pilot after he dies in 6 years? No. Can you read my movies if I ever make one? I would probably give you notes or something, but I don't know if I would. Whoa, man! If like there was no religion, the world would be like have no conflict, right? Whoa, I mean, it would be a lot nicer. Christian Gutierrez, is there a cartoon anime that you wish had a continuation announced recently? Your careers having new ideas. For me, it would be DCAU and Black Lagoon. New ideas. Anime. Hmm. I wouldn't mind like gargoyles or I don't know. I think a lot of that stuff. It's like we have so many continuations. I'm like hesitant to say that, to be honest with you. So, but I mean, Avatar: The Last Airbender probably. Question: which Transformers shit Gabby's Dollhouse did? They announced sort of like a new show sort of at the end. So it's like not Gabby anymore. It's like a different thing, which I'm sure you'll hear about soon. But no, nobody died. But I was like, oh wow, we're still doing this. Okay, it sort of makes sense if you see the movie and like the themes they're working with about like growing up and like obviously the actress who plays Gabby's getting older and all that stuff. Um, Cornbread, should they have added more gay characters to cartoon back then so they can get a boost in viewers? Now that people are complaining anything to find a gay and complain about it on the internet. Oh my god. Yeah, they should have. Make more stuff more gay. You'll get more views from shitty Elon Musk tweets. Embla T, will people see good fortune after the incident? I don't. That does not look good to me. And Aziz is kind of. I was sort of sick of his whole shtick. To be honest with you. I'm not super into that. I liked him on Parks and Rec, but afterwards, like some of his stuff, I'm just like not my thing. Zane Powers, worst pilot you've ever seen? Huh? That's a good question. None of the recent ones. Did watch probably the X Men, but that is not one of the worst. Hmm, that's a good question. I can't. Huh? Worst pilot I've ever seen. It's a good question. I can't think of what it would be right now. I'm sorry. Um, Rocket Lomax. Any good recipes you'd share, or those two secret? I do Gordon Ramsay's shepherd's pie, so that would be. But I just kind of that's my big cooking thing, and it's like sort of a big thing to do. So it's not like a I'll make burgers real good kind of thing. It's like a very stressful kind of thing. Anyway, all right. Uh, what if we go back and make the person who came up with apartheid? Jesus, what? I don't know what that means, man. All right, let's on that note, let's worst stage play you've actually attended. I don't probably some in high school and stuff. I did a Wizard of Oz, and I made this whole like the Emerald City, and it was gonna be this whole black light thing, and they turned on the lights during that segment because they said parents would complain it's too dark, or what if someone wanted to leave, and they told me the day we were doing the show, so it ruined like this whole thing I'd been building for weeks. And that's like the worst state. And then they were like, "Are you gonna come back tomorrow?" And I literally looked into the face and said, "No, no, I'm not." And I didn't. And they're like, you shouldn't have held a grudge." And I was like, "Why would I come?" It still makes me mad because I worked like really hard on that. Question. Okay, we'll do these last two. To explain earlier, I was talking about Joe Patnino from The Matrix eating that steak. It was really a mushroom. Oh, I didn't know that. Interesting. Austin, will you be reviewing the Gabby Dollars movie? I will not. Possibly my kids, but we'll see. Because I don't. They don't want to, or I never put it like a scheduled thing. I'm just like, if they want to, they can. If they don't, it's fine. Anyway, all right. I think it's time to end the show. This has gone a little long. Worst pilot you've actually seen? No, not the nerd crap. Like an actual aircraft pilot, you nerd. Um, well, I could say something, but let's end this on a good note. Thank you for this. Yeah, I think you know what you I would say. Thank you for the super chats too. Sidaram, Austin, William Elman, Nathaniel Fogo, George Tunes, Mandela Butterfly, George Tunes, and Nattenbox 64. I very much appreciate it. Cheers to all of y'all. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for watching the videos. I think tomorrow will probably be a short thing, and then I'm stuck because we'll get that out and stuff like that. Have you ever pretended to be a pilot to get free beer at the pilot's bar and then were forced to fly a plane? No, no. Ha ha ha. Here's Soul Plane reference. There you go. All right. Anyway, thank you all for being here. Thank you for coming to another show. Thank you for those super chats. Thank you to everyone and your support. I very much appreciate it. It's time to end the show. I will see you all next week, and it'll be cool. And I hope you like everything that's coming off. I hope to see Smashing Machines soon. I hope you all have a good weekend, see some good movies, and be cool. And all that good stuff. And I will see you all next time. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe if you would like to. And peace. Good night, everybody.